Today I will be talking about the ethics of magic and witchcraft, so please do stick around. Okay, noisy, please go away. So, hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Reuben Lyran Healer, so thank you for tuning in. It's been a long time no see, but I am back to bring you another video within the subject of witchcraft and magic. So if that is the sort of thing that you're interested in, then please do hit that subscribe button and then you will be notified when new videos like this one do go online. So thank you for all of your support, thank you for liking and sharing this video and every other video, and there shall be more creative stuff which I'm going to be putting out there very soon, so please do stay in the loop and take this magical journey with me. So thank you. I am your host Reuben Lyran Healer, and this week I will be talking about... what am I talking about? So this week I will be talking about ethics in magic and witchcraft. So I'll be talking a little bit about karma, the Threefold Law, and spell reversal, and speeding up karma, calling upon deities like Hecate, Kali, Sekhmet and the Furies. Here I have a list of notes because I want to try to stay concise, because I know that some of my videos do tend to be on the long side and I know that is off-putting to some viewers, so I'm going to try to be as clear and concise and keep the video as short as possible, because I don't want it to be going on for an hour plus. One of my first areas within this subject is traditions. So depending on what tradition of magic we're looking at depends on whether using spells like hexes or speeding up karma spell reversals. It depends on whether spells such as that are acceptable or whether it is the done thing or not. So if we're looking at something, if we're looking at a tradition like Wicca, then sending hexes or even spell reversal, like even purposefully reflecting someone's magic back at them, if we know it's negative, then even something like that is classed as not acceptable because they adhere to the Threefold Law. So I've spoken about that in some of my earlier videos, so please do check out some of the earlier videos if you would like more information in that, because I will not be delving in very deeply into Wicca in this video, but I will be making a few points such as about the Threefold Law. But for more in-depth information on Wicca, the Wicca system, then please do check out my earlier videos such as the Book of Shadows Reveal. So that Wicca is one end of the spectrum when we're looking at magic, and then there's magical there's magical systems such as voodoo or voodoo. So that is the complete other end of the spectrum. So is something like hexing, cursing, spell reversal, is that acceptable within that system? Hell yeah, of course that's acceptable. Like, people, practitioners within voodoo, Obeya, we love that shit. So when I say we, I say that loosely because I am not ordained within that system, so that is not my main system, but I do find Obeya and voodoo very intriguing, so I do try to incorporate it respectfully where I can. Okay. So it's also worth noting that if you're following a particular tradition that, such as Wicca or Voodoo, then these are very set in their ways. So just be respectful of the tradition that you're wanting to follow or that you've chosen. Just be respectful, because there are rules depending on which and there are taboos within each tradition. So certain things such as casting a hex or a curse, like within Wicca, that is very frowned upon. And like I was saying, even reflecting it back to, if you know that someone's cast a hex on you or a curse, then, and you knowingly reflecting it, sending it back to them purposefully, then that is frowned upon within Wicca, because the main tenet of Wicca is and it harm none, so mote it be. So, and within the other end of the spectrum, when we're coming back to voodoo or voodoo, like voodoo is very, very, very down to earth, very much to do with like the human instincts. So the fight or flight, all of these human, or what some would call sinful human traits such as pride, envy, lust, gluttony. Voodoo is very, I don't profess to be an expert in the subject, but I was just trying to say that when you look at it, like the voodoo spirits, such as the Orisha, then they are like they have very human traits, such as you give them offerings of rum, cigars, stuff like that. So they are very in tune with the materialistic human things, even though they are not physical spirits or a physical being like you or me. My main concern in this is just make sure that if you do choose a tradition, that you're sticking to the parameters set within that system, because completely disregarding the rules and etiquette of your tradition or system, disregarding anything within that system may be quite dangerous, especially in the situation of hexes and curses. So if you're not doing stuff by the letter, if you're just winging it when it comes to a curse, or just winging it as a spell reversal, then that's not a very good idea, because these things should not be done lightly, and they should not be done without research. So anything I tell you today, please don't just take my word for it. Please do go out and research it some more and become your own authority on any of these subjects, because I'm not claiming to be an authority on any of these subjects. Like, I have dipped my toe in Wicca, I've dipped my toe in voodoo, but I'm not by any means am I an authority in those subjects. Okay, so if you are an eclectic practitioner, an eclectic witch, and you're following your own path, then again, be well read in as much subjects in all of the other traditions, and really know your shit, because if you're choosing the eclectic path, then you're a little more vulnerable, really, just because all of the rules and regulations of the other traditions and systems, they've been put there for a reason. So they've been put there just to keep that practitioner safe. So when you're devising your own system, if you're not creating any rules, if you're not setting any limits or parameters within that system, then you're just leaving yourself wide open to any wayward magics or entities. So you do really need to know your shit if you want to be an eclectic witch. Okay. And hats off to those of you who are already walking down that path, because it is an amazing path and an amazing experience. Like, I personally have been on this path, I'm losing count of the years, but if I was to guess, I'd say I'm inching towards 20 years maybe. Yes, I believe it was 2005 when I first started delving and dipping my toe in the realms of magic. So yeah, it is coming up to 20 years. So, but again, saying that, I'm not saying that I've only just been focused on this one thing, because I've been living my life at the same time. So the path of witchcraft or any of the traditions, it's a lifelong journey, and you don't just learn it overnight or even over 20 years or so. It is a lifelong journey. So if you are serious about it, then do put in the work. Being an eclectic practitioner, an eclectic witch, it isn't free-range to just blunder around ignorantly. Know your own path, the limits, set your own rules to keep yourself safe and to show your respect for spirit and for the own path that you're on. So please do like figure shit out, and just, if you're at a loss for anything, then do look at the other systems, other religions. Not that witchcraft is a religion, but just do look at other systems, and if there's something that catches your eye, if there's something that really resonates with you, then you can totally tap into that. You can totally make it your own. Just make sure it feels right, and if it feels right for you, then that is fine. That is meant to be a part of your path. Setting your intention, and aligning yourself for greater results. So think of yourself, so me and you, think of us as magnets or magical magnets. So essentially we will have a greater pull one way or the other, and will resonate more strongly within one system or one energy, one way or the other, whether it's a higher energy or even a lower energy, or just a completely human energy, anything, whatever it is. We are every being in existence, whether it's a physical human, witch, Wiccan, pagan, voodoo, high priest, whatever you are, we all have our own spirit, we have our own soul, and our soul is aligned with certain frequencies. So basically, if you're working on raising your vibration, then if you're investing all of your time in raising your vibration, building a relationship with the spirit, the divine, or any number of spiritual masters, then the next thing you know, someone comes along and triggers you and makes you angry. That easily lowers your vibration. So if you're losing your shit and being triggered, then you decide you're gonna do something which is completely out of your alignment, and you're gonna tap into infernal energies. You're gonna summon hellfire to descend upon another person. You're just gonna do it, wing it. If you're just gonna go for that and hell to the consequences, then it's not a very smart thing to do. So basically, I'm not, please don't take this the wrong way, I'm not saying that everyone has to be Wiccan or everyone has to adhere to the anti-harm norm, so might it be, because I'm personally not a Wiccan, but there is wisdom within that system. So basically, I'm just saying to know what your intentions are, know your pathway, and just stick with your alignment. So if you're aligning yourself to higher vibrations, then stick with that. If you're one of those people who wants to go down the poison path or the conjure path or the obeyer path, the voodoo path, then that is completely fine. That is, everyone has their own system and everyone has a place, and everyone does have a call within a system or a tradition, whether it's one that is already been set up or whether it's your own. So if, don't get me wrong, so if that's the path that you want to go down, if you want yourself to be in alignment with the infernal beings, if you want to go around summoning demons, if you want to make that your living, then fair enough, each to their own. So I'm just saying, it's not a wise thing to jump from one end of the spectrum to the other willy-nilly. So just be mindful about these things, because if you're trying to align yourself to higher vibrations and to pure beings, then the next moment you're wanting to call on infernal beings and whatever else, then it's just silly, really. It's just not a very smart thing to do. So anyhow, moving on. So, is casting magic on others warranted? Is it truly deserved? So you've got to ask yourself these questions if you're thinking about these things. So when we cast a spell, when we make a petition to deities or to beings beyond ourselves, to spirit beings, to the voodoo lower, to the Orisha, when we make a petition, we set that intention and we put it out into the universe, and the universe will answer. Although we should try not to judge others, because I know it's very difficult. So when someone's triggered you or pissed you off, then it's very difficult not to just fly off the handle. But we need to try to detach ourselves from the situation and kind of just take a step back and then look at it outwards. And I know this is so difficult, especially if it's the situation's not even for you. If someone in your family has been disrespected, if they've been hurt by someone, then I know, then, because I've been in a similar situation, like if someone in my family has been hurt by another person, then I do see red in a way. So I have in the past just tossed all inhibitions to the wind and just called in those demons, and I'm not gonna lie, because I have done that in the past. But I'm just saying, just make sure that you stay true to yourself, and just make sure that it's warranted. And when you're detaching from the situation, then it's less likely that the magic will go awry, and it's less likely that the spell will rebound on yourself. Ultimately, when it comes to casting a hex or a curse, then in a way you are kind of invoking karma, or you become karma, or an agent of karma. So, but just be aware that ultimately the decision isn't up to us. So we may set a petition to punish others, but ultimately the decision is with the higher power, so it's with spirit. So we put something out there and spirit answers our call. But spirit is the authority that decides which party is guilty, whether it's us or the person that we've targeted with our magic. Spirit may still answer your petition and still punish others even if they're innocent, but if that is the case, then it is likely to rebound and boomerang back on to us, and we don't really want that. I wrote down here, despite who has spiritual liability for the bad blood. So whoever is in the wrong and is whoever's caused this situation. If you're casting magic and you're punishing others and they're innocent and the spell is not warranted, like I was saying, it may boomerang back to you. So we just need to ask ourselves in every situation, are we being petty here? Have we examined all of the information? May there be info unknown to us about this situation? So yeah, really make sure that no stone is unturned, really. If you're gonna punish someone, or if you're gonna cast a curse on someone, make sure you are fully aware of the whole situation, because it is difficult sometimes to do so. But if you just fly off the handle straight away, then it's just a recipe for disaster, to be honest. I was mentioning magic boomeranging back to us. Wiccans, they believe in something called the Threefold Law. So if you've watched some of my earlier videos, you may have heard me mention that before. So the Threefold Law is Wiccans, they believe that whatever you give out, whether it's good or ill, turns to you threefold. So it's karma, pretty much. Going back to Wiccan ethics, so there's rules here. So there's a couple of rules here. So number 1, never work to harm anyone. So this is Wicca. Number 2, never work to manipulate anyone against his or her own will or natural development. Number 3, never assume you know all the factors involved in the situation or person you are working on. Number 4, never work for your own gain at someone else's expense. Number 5, word your spell precisely and carefully to leave no loopholes, which may result in your inadvertently breaking rules 1 to 4. These 5 rules here, they basically are the subtext to the Wiccan read and it ham none do what thou wilt. So I've got a quote here which I got from this book, Spells and How They Work, by Janet and Stuart Farrer. So any psychic attack which comes up against a stronger defense rebounds threefold on the attacker. So basically, if you think of like a mirror, if you put a ray of light towards a mirror, it will reflect backwards. So what this quote is saying is if you're beaming out if you're beaming out bad energy at someone, or beaming out good energy at someone, whatever that energy is that you're beaming out, the Wiccans are saying that if there's not a strong enough defense, or if our own defenses are not strong enough, then that may rebound in this threefold. or if the person we're directing it at has really strong protection and defences up, then it is likely to rebound on us threefold as well in that situation. So it is good to just be mindful of these things. So I just wanted to make a quick analogy when it comes to spirit deciding on the spiritual liability for the bad blood. So whether spirit wants to rebound it back on us if we're in the wrong, or whether spirit feels our spell is justified that we've targeted it at another person. Kind of like if you're a driver, then if you're in a car accident, then the insurance will look at all aspects of the incident, and they will decide whether, if there's enough evidence to support which person is liable for that incident. So in a way, spirit is the insurer. So spirit looks at all of the evidence, it looks within our heart and our soul, and it sees who is at fault and who is innocent and who is guilty. So in that way, if you're the guilty party, then you're likely going to be not affected in a good way. But if you're the innocent party, so this is where my beliefs separate from the Wiccan beliefs, that whatever you give out, good or ill. So if I give out ill, then I'm definitely receiving back that ill threefold. So I don't believe in that. So my belief is that spirit is the ultimate judge. So the divinity, the divine beings, which we are connected with, which we are a big part of. So that spirit is the one who decides. So if I do send out ill, so if I do send out a hex or a curse, then I believe that spirit then takes a look at that, and spirit then judges whether that is justified or not. So if it is justified, then all's good. I'm not getting that back 3 times 3, or I'm not getting it back tenfold, is another popular saying within the Wicca community, that you may receive magic tenfold back. It's just similar to the 3 times 3, getting it back threefold, but making it kind of more urgent or dangerous and more off-putting for practitioners to practice magic which may cause harm. So anyway, I just wanted to put that analogy out there to help make it more understandable. Let me read again. So any psychic attack which comes up against a stronger defense rebounds threefold on the attacker. So that is the quote from Janet and Stuart Farrer. So what do we mean by a strong defense? So there's 3 meanings listed within this book. So number 1 is conscious and deliberate defense whilst aware of an attack. Number 2, the habit of permanently keeping yourself defended. So permanently always having shielding set up, no matter what the occasion or where you are, always having that defense, magical defenses up. Number 3, a naturally tough psychic skin, which many people, even without possessing occult knowledge or belief in magic and psychic ability. So lots of people do develop this tough psychic skin, which they've given it as an example here. So basically that just means you naturally rebound, you naturally deflect any bad vibes. So some people do naturally do that, naturally keep defend themselves. Not to mention, we do have spiritual teams out there. So we've got the ancestors who defend us. We have spirit guides, angels, guardian angels. We ascended masters. We've got a whole team out there. It's better to focus your thoughts on protection and alignment rather than believing that you are at the mercy of someone else or something else, or a curse, for example. So this is what is known as the placebo effect, and beliefs are very powerful. If you just look at it like prayer and meditation, that these are very powerful techniques used throughout the world. If someone tells you they're cursing you, they know that they don't really have to lift much of a finger, to be honest, because if they've told you they're cursing you, then they know that they're gonna screw with your head and that you will do most of the damage yourself. So this is known as the placebo effect. So back to spell reversal. So spell reversal is a way of returning magic back to the sender, or at least deflecting it away from yourself. Around the clock obsession with psychic defense can amount to paranoia and divert energy and attention from positive matters. So the best attitude to develop is one of calm confidence and of improving your psychic awareness. In this book, it's listing a spell for breaking or reversing a spell which has been sent against you. So you collect 4 fallen twigs, 1 each of hazel, oak, helm and willow, and hold them in the smoke of a fire while you repeat 7 times. Turner be turned, burner be burned, let only good come of this wood. So you repeat that 7 times. I'll repeat it one more time. Turner be turned, burner be burned, let only good come of this wood. So you then spit on each twig, break it small and throw them at the fire, and say the curse will die with the fire's death. A non-Wiccan in that situation, they may not want to just break the spell. They may want to send the spell back to the person so they get a taste of the own medicine, so to speak. One of the spells I know quite well is it utilises the rune Fawn. I'll draw it in the air, so it's a line with a triangle, so it looks a bit like an axe. The rune is connected with 4, so hence why the name is called Fawn. Basically, it's a rune of magical defence. All who wish us ill are spurned, with all evil thrice returned. Throw yourself upon this fawn, and only your blood shall be drawn. So that is a return to sender spell. Okay, so what next? So another note which I've written down is calling divine protection. So this is very useful. So if you feel like someone has ill intent towards you, if they're throwing bad vibes your way, then if you have a strong relationship with the divine, in whatever shape or form you recognize that divinity to be. So if you build a relationship with spirit as angels, archangels like Archangel Michael, or if you build a rapport with the dark goddess such as Hecate, Kali, Lilith, whoever, or any goddess or any god or any deity, then calling divine protection is your best form. It's the best and easiest way to protect yourself. So simply just by calling the name of one of these powerful beings, so like calling Hecate or calling Heru, or calling a list of names as a chant, so Ozet Ozar Heru, Ozet Ozar Heru, Ozet Ozar Heru. So that is an Egyptian trinity of deities. So Ozet Ozar Heru, so that Isis, Osiris, Horus. So yeah, just calling the names of divine spirit beings will call their protection towards you. So try it out for yourself, no matter which deities you feel drawn to. As long as you do so respectfully, as long as you're calling upon them respectfully and not thinking that you're controlling that being, because I wouldn't suggest trying to control a deity, because that won't end well for you. Okay, so there's another note which I wrote down, so speeding up karma. So I may have spoke about this a little bit already. So there's certain deities who you can call upon who will help you speed up karma or help to punish the wicked. So deities like the Furies from ancient Greek myth, deities such as Sekhmet. She was sent to Earth by Amun-Ra, the king of the gods. He sent Sekhmet to come and punish mankind because mankind had become foolish and lazy and wicked. So Amun-Ra sent Sekhmet down to put the fear of God in them, so to speak. And she did it a little too well. She nearly annihilated all of mankind. But yeah, she was then tempted into drinking wine, which pacified her and made her pass out. So yeah, Sekhmet thought she was drinking a river of blood from all of the humans she vanquished, but instead she was drinking a river of wine, which the gods had arranged to calm her down. So that is an interesting tale or myth. So there's other deities who will help you with karma as well. So there's Hecate, so she's often called upon in spells for justice. They say that Hecate will remain at crime scenes, so such places where a person has been murdered, for example. But she can be called upon for any sort of justice spell. And Kali is such a ferocious goddess. Well, they're all ferocious and powerful, but Kali, she even in her depictions, she looks furious and scary. Always. All of the depictions I've seen of Kali anyway, she looks quite scary and terrible. So yeah, you wouldn't want to mess with any of these deities. Spells where you speed up karma. So basically, if someone's peed you off, if someone's like there could be any number of reasons really. If anyone's done something which has really ticked you off, then you may choose to speed up karma to get your own back on them, or to reverse the tables, so to speak. All magic comes with a price, dearie. So like if you're a fan of Once Upon a Time, then you'll know that is a very popular saying which Rumpelstiltskin says a lot of times. So although I don't fully agree that all magic comes with a price, I do believe that malevolent magic does come with a price, I do believe. Within reason. So, like, if you look at voodoo, for instance, like, if you're people who are doing a voodoo working to bring about something such as a hex or a curse, or even if they're bringing about something good, they would give an offering of maybe blood, or they'd sacrifice a goat or a chicken, not meaning to be rude or ignorant, because sure there may be other ways to do a working, but that is what the mainstream portrays voodoo as sacrificing animals to work magic. So if there's anyone out there who'd like to inform us of any other ways in which voodoo working is done, then please do comment in the description and let us all know and inform us. So yeah, certain magic does come with a price, that is quite evident. And again, it's just coming back to the whole threefold and karma elements of magic. So the next thing I wanted to speak about is throwing magic at things, or throwing magic at certain problems. Magic is something that's special. So I've got a quote here, sorry, from G.P. Taylor. So this is from a fiction book. You don't go around throwing magic at problems that can be solved by our own hands. It's special, it's beautiful and lovely. Sorcery is like painting a fine picture. You don't waste the paint. This is, I'm talking about Lord of the Rings now, but if you think Gandalf, if he'd have thrown his magic, because Gandalf is, if you don't know Lord of the Rings, Gandalf is a very powerful wizard, and if he went around throwing his magic at every hindrance which came up along their path, then he wouldn't have had the magical reserves to defeat such a mighty foe such as the Balrog. So if you've seen the movie, then you'll know what I mean. So basically, it's when Gandalf says he has his sword and he has his staff, and he holds them together and he says, "You shall not pass." And then the big demon, which is made of shadow and fire, it just falls backwards and falls back into hell, basically. So powerful because he doesn't throw away magic. He doesn't just waste it on useless things. Throw it at little things like if you have a paper cut, oh, let's use magic there. or if basically if it's a bit cloudy outside, let's make it sunny. If you're a powerful wizard, sure, you probably could do all of these things, but if you did throw magic at every little thing which you that wanted to change, then if you just wouldn't have the magical power to put to use against something very important. So that's what I wanted to say. So in conclusion, this video which I've put together is just to advise you that I have learned over my years of being an eclectic witch. I've learned various important tidbits of information on ethics within magic. So I've gained some stuff through spiritual meditation, through trial and error. I wanted to put this information out there for each and every one of you, but I want you to use your own discernment at the same time. So please don't just take my word for everything or anything. See what resonates with yourself, and if what I say resonates with you, then that's brilliant. If you want to study it further, if you want to gather further information on it, then please do. The best way that you can figure out the ethics in a situation, so if a certain situation warrants a spell or a hex or anything, so the best way to discern whether magic is warranted or not is through using your intuition and listening to spirit and your own conscience, because there is rules for everything, and no matter what tradition you're in, whether you're in your own tradition, you're an eclectic witch, or whether you're Wiccan, or whether you're a voodoo high priest, then just listen to your own intuition and your conscience and follow your own heart, because that will not lead you wrong. That is my conclusion for this video, so thank you all for tuning in. I hope the people who watch this video find it useful, and I hope you will come back to watch more videos, and I hope you'll check out the other videos, because I do have lots of other various videos, and I will be continuing to add more videos. I've got some ideas for making a podcast. I'll be releasing new pop music and alternative music, soul music, whatever. So yeah, I have lots of creative ideas, so please don't think that if like last time, that if I have a little break. So I think it's been about 4 to 5 months since my last video on here, so apologies for that, guys, but I am back, and I've got lots of ideas for more videos, and I've got ideas for podcasts and lots of other creative things, so please do stick around, and please do hit subscribe. And thank you for being here today, and please feel free to, if you have any questions or any comments, please do feel free to leave a comment and just let me know that you do appreciate these little videos. So the next video that I'm planning on making, so this is a mini series. So this is a How Magick Works series. So this is video 1, which is on the ethics of magic. So video 2, I want to be on the Magician's Pyramid. So if you want to know what the Magician's Pyramid is, then please do check out the next video when it comes in a week or so. Hopefully. Thank you for tuning in, and I will end it there. So, brightest blessings. And namaste. Do subscribe and hit that bell notification. What a little darling. Isn't she such a precious little darling? Bless my little baby.